hoping that it doesn't turn out like Jurassic Park.
Welcome to Cloudy with a Chance of Meeples, a channel of conversation and board games.
Hey, my name is Brent here on Cloudy with a Chance of Meeples. Today on the channel, we are heading back to the world of Draftosaurus. Once again, we will be filling our own little dino zoo with dinosaurs, hoping that it doesn't turn out like Jurassic Park. This is an expansion for Draftosaurus. It is the aerial show, and it introduces a brand new dino or reptile. Regardless, it introduces pterodactyls, and it has a brand new aviary board in which you'll be placing said pterodactyls. How does this one play? What are my final thoughts on it? Let's find out. Cue the thunder. So the radar overview for Draftosaurus, the aerial show expansion. Of course, if you don't know how to play Draftosaurus, you can just check out the link to that full review in the description of this one. I'm just going to show you the differences in this new expansion. And as you can see, once again, compared to the Marina board, they still don't match up with the base board, which is, it just looks silly. Let's just be honest. These paths should clearly line up. The artwork, the illustrations, it's just different. I don't know how that got passed, especially if you look at the back of the box. It shows that it seamlessly is flush, but clearly in reality that's not the case, much like the Marina board, which is a sad thing. But how does this one play? Of course, you got the brand new dinos, you got the pterodactyls, and you will be playing with 2 of these per person. So example, 3-player game, you'll put 6 in the bag, but not before each player will randomly put a dinosaur on each of these pens with eggs on it. Then you are about to begin. Whenever you pull a pterodactyl, they cannot go on the main board, but rather they go on the top. They go and rest in a nest. So if I put one here, at the end of the game, I'll get 1 victory point for each pen that has a Spinosaurus. As soon as I put one pterodactyl in either of the 1 nests, I can then go across and I can do the 2 nests. If I have a second one there, then I open up this 3rd one. I can put one there. So what do these pens do? Well, not pens, what do these nests do? If I, let's say, put one in that one with the Stegosaurus, at that point I can swap this pterodactyl with the Stegosaurus, and I don't have to abide by the placement die. So if you're ever stuck and you're like, oh man, I need to put one in, the Woody trio, and they rolled the rocks, and you have a pterodactyl, you can then just swap that out and then move this guy down. Very handy. You put it in here, 3 victory points. You put one in here, it does the same as this one, and then of course if you have one on each of either number 1s and number 2s, then you can put one in the top one, and that will make you immune from the placement die for the rest of the game. That's pretty much it. You flip over this board and it has a little bit different scoring. This is kind of like a fork in the road. Of course, your first one would have to go on this in this nest, and then you'd swap whatever dino's in there. After that, you can either go up to this bridge. When you do that, you can get 3 victory points for every pterodactyl to the person on your left, or you can go around this side. This scores much like this one, but with pairs of orifices, swaps just like this. But if you can actually get a 3rd one and put one here, you get a whopping 7 victory points, which may be really, really good. But that's pretty much how you play. That's pretty much it for the aerial show expansion. So let's check out now the final forecast. So the final forecast for Draftosaurus aerial show, as you saw, the components, the pterodactyls, they're cool. The boards, not so cool. They don't line up. The artwork's different. I don't know if in future printings they're going to make the base game board bigger so that they do in fact line up. It would be nice, but how does this one play? Well, as you saw, you have kind of a little bit of decision making in each game when you play with the pterodactyls. You start and you have a little bit of forward planning capabilities with 2 of those nests having dinosaurs in it already. At the same time, you can then count a little bit more as to how many dinosaurs are actually still in the bag or still coming around when drafting, because you know how many are on your board, plus however many are on the boards of the other players. So you can have some forward planning. Of course, if you take a pterodactyl, it's nice that you can, not abide by that placement die. So if you're ever stuck in a situation where you can't follow or you don't want to follow the placement die, you can take a pterodactyl if they are still available and swap out with the dinosaur. I think that's cool. I like the top nest on both boards. You don't have to follow the placement die. If you can get that early, well, then you can place your dinosaur anywhere for the remainder of the game. That's really cool. Of course, on the opposite side, 7 victory points. That's quite a bit for a single dinosaur. All in all, I like this expansion. I'm not super pumped on the scoring, like just the variety. It has, that forward planning with the dinosaurs, but for you to put a pterodactyl in a nest that gets you 1 victory point for every pen that you have a specific type of dinosaur in, to me, that's underwhelming. Of course, 3 victory points if you do that one, that's 3 victory points. But sometimes you can get more victory points by moving a dinosaur from a nest into a different pen. And like I said, I love that, that third nest, no placement die restrictions, 7 victory points. Those are kind of cool, but I don't know if it's necessarily worth putting two other pterodactyls in those other pens just to get to that. I don't know. I enjoy this expansion. I don't like it as much as the Marina expansion. Of course, in the Marina expansion, if you haven't seen my review on that one, check the link below, as well as the base game review in the description of this video. The Marine expansion, of course, is very simple. You're just moving pluses down, but you kind of have a push your luck where you're moving pluses and then taking specific dinosaurs to help them move across. This one, I don't know. I didn't think the scoring was all that exciting in comparison to the pluses, because I feel the pluses you can add more points and you could really have a really big game. This one, more forward planning and kind of a push your luck to try to get to that third nest. Overall, it's a fun expansion. It's still Draftosaurus. It's not as fun, in my opinion, as the Marine expansion. I will also say this, both boxes are pretty tiny. I don't know why this couldn't have been one collective expansion and have, a bag of these with 5 boards and a bag of those and 5 boards all in the same big box. And then you would have, less production costs, less packaging. I don't know how that they couldn't have been done together, and maybe in the future they will. I would still love to see even more Draftosaurus. I would love to see another base game board with different pens on how those score. Overall, it's a fun expansion. It's not a great expansion, but it's a solid expansion for a really great game, which is Draftosaurus. So I'm going to give this one a 75% chance of meeples because I think it's fun. If I had to pick the two, I'd pick Marina. If you want to pick one, I suggest Marina. But again, it's Draftosaurus. It's fun. It's light. So yeah, 75% chance of meeples for the Aerial Show expansion for Draftosaurus. My name is Brent. Check us out on Facebook, Cloudy with the Chance of Meeples. Remember, grab your umbrella. The forecast is cloudy with the chance of meeples.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and remember to grab your umbrella because the forecast is cloudy with a chance of meeples.